Hello and greetings. I have a lot of requests for my TSM groups and how I've got them set up with all my operations. So I thought I'd share a video that explains all my groups as they are currently. We're in the middle of May at the moment. I think I'll make this maybe a monthly thing as I update each group, because I'm always evolving my groups, and I'll make them available in a paste bin that I'm going to put in the description below. So I'm just going to run through my groups as they're currently set up for mainly Samadan. So we look at my groups. I've got a few battle pets. These are the ones that I've found and I'm currently selling. Obviously, if you have any more yourself, you can add those in quite easily. This isn't comprehensive by any means. It's just what I happen to have from my pet list of things that I've been trying to sell. Then my other group here is cooking, which is highly valuable to me. I've got a few extra ones here, chocolate cookies and children's week, that I probably won't need for the moment, but delicacies, feasts are split into hearty and lavish because I post them in different quantities, and the large meals has all the things there, the light meals are here, and then the snacks, bear tartare's in its own one because that has a different quantity again. And then I've got a list of all the ingredients for me to look out for, along with a shopping scan that goes with those. And then I've got a separate one for Nomi snacks. Now that I've gotten all the recipes of Nomi, I'm just selling the snacks directly on the auction house. And then there's also the vendor ingredients, which is the ones you can buy in Dalaran, and I've been selling those on the auction house myself, so there's an operation in for those. Then we go on to my favourite shopping section. Now this is tailored specifically to me and the items that I look out for, to do with my cloth, the tailoring, the leatherworking and things like that. I've kind of split it up into those things. We've got a cloth section for looking to see if there's any good bargains, especially something like fell cloth or ember silk. And then I've got a special subgroup of that for selling ember silk, because currently ember silk is quite high in price, so I'm actually selling cloth as well as buying it. And then I've got a second operation which is just looking for the bolts, and the operation for that tries to calculate the price of the bolts based on the price of the cloth. So usually that's quite high. So I don't expect any bargains in there when I do my shopping. Then this is a generic good stuff thing, which is all the kind of things I want to keep an eye out for. It's a bit of a sort of mix of lots of different things. Shadow silk, hypnotic dust, some enchanting things in there mainly, and maybe some bespoke things that I need for certain tailoring items. And then I've got a subcategory in that for the shadow silk, which I also sell. So I sell that in stacks of 8. So as well as having a shopping, I also do a selling operation on that one. Then I've got a kind of okay-ish list of a few leatherworking things to look out for. This is by no means comprehensive. There's a lot more leatherworking stuff you can look out for, but this gives you a little idea of some of the things you could buy at a bargain. These are mainly for my demon hunter Urfan, who's the leatherworker. And then Legion enchanting materials, just 3 in here. I'm always using this just to quickly look for the price of Arcana, Chaos Crystals and Leylight, see if there happen to be any bargains on the auction house. Then we go for a few kind of bespoke things, planar essence, the greater and the lesser, prismatics, the large and the small, temporal crystals, just in case I can find any bargains, because usually for my temporal crystals I get them by doing the daily cooldown with enchanting, but that depends on how many luminous shards I've got left. I've only got 153. I managed to pick a load up for 7 gold, so once that stock runs out I'm going to have to look at this a bit more intently. So that's why that's there. Volatiles and Chaos Orbs, basically all bunched together so I can just see if there's any bargains, pick any up. Waters of Drain or Herbs in Ore. Now I use this one particularly for finding anything that's under a gold and then buying it up, because for me I can then turn that into primal spirits. Then we have a few things, a mass sell, which is just kind of like a few bits and pieces that I'm not too concerned about. That just has a generic region average operation on them. Things that I'll just basically shove in there if I'm not sure what to do with them. The same with this old world food and potions. This is more for stacks of greater than 1. So if I happen to have a lot of potions that I want to try and sell, or some thick spider silk, I'll throw it on here. and they may occasionally sell. Then I've got a separate group for the Obliterans shuffle, Miscellaneous for buying, and then Obliteran for selling. This, when I do a shopping scan for it, comes out because I've never bought any Obliteran, so that's why it comes out as a weird figure for me. But if you're buying it, I wouldn't suggest you buy it, but you can, if you do a shopping scan of both of these, you'll see the Obliteran come up as a strange price if you haven't bought any. So all my shopping operations are based on my average buy price. Again, this isn't a comprehensive group list. This is just what I've grown over the last 7 months. So take what bits you want from it and discard the rest. It's really tailored for me. But if anyone's interested in it, this is what I've got. Old World region drops is basically all the greens and stuff that I pick up randomly. If I think it might sell, I shove it in this group. It's got just a percentage of the DB region market average on there. If it sells, then great. If it doesn't, then I'll just keep on reposting it. I do believe I might have set a max expires onto this of 100, so that could be interesting once it hits that. Then I've got my professions. So enchanting, my big group that I tend to focus on. The major sellers, the cloaks, are all in one. These are all split into different amounts of sales and crafting operations. So some, like the good ones, I'll craft, can't remember how many it is, 4 of each, and the average ones is 2 of each, the rubbish ones 1 of each. So that's how I've split them up there. And then you've got them all here. The old world enchants, particularly the Crusader, Mongoose, Elemental Force, those are selling quite well right now. Elemental Force is selling particularly well, so I have that in a subgroup with a slightly larger amount on it. And then I've got the rings in there split into average and good ones. My leatherworking is certainly not fleshed out. I've got quite a lot of all the gladiators leather stuff that, as I've learnt the recipes, I've put in there. Not doing so well at the moment. The main thing I have been doing though is Drums of Fury, and I sell quite a few of those. The rest is all bits and pieces really that I don't tend to sell a lot of. The other thing is the Warhide bindings, which I mail to myself. I have an operation to send these to between Earthen and Samadan, so just check your mailing operations that come with this group. You might not want those, otherwise you'll end up sending me all the Warhide bindings, which would be nice, but obviously you'd have to be on the same server as me for that. And then tailoring is split into bags, silkweave satchels, the Elec plushie is a new one for me, and then various different types of clothes and things like that. And then the shirts, the good ones, rich purple silk shirt that has its own category. You may not have that yourself. And then down here at the bottom, we've got a few single cell miscellaneous. I don't think I really use these anymore. And the Selling 5s I don't think I use much. So these are probably going to get trashed at some point when I finish with these groups, or maybe tidy things up a bit. And then I've got a few specific things like the Nexus Reaver and the Elixir of Demon Slaying, which I put manual prices in for most of these. Again, these are special case scenarios, so they're just shoved in there for now. So I'm going to export all of these, and then you can import them into your own TSM and pick out the bits you want, take the groups, the operations, whatever you like. I'm just going to throw the whole lot on there in the paste bin, and then hopefully you'll be able to import just the bits and pieces you want. I hope it's going to be useful to some of you, and then I'll update this probably on a monthly basis and put out a new video just going through the changes, and then people can pick it up or whatever they want really. So if you've got TSM 4, you'll go into the import export and you'll import the group here. I'm going to export this now, and then I'll put the paste bin in the comments below, and then you can import it here. You copy and paste it into here, click import, go through the options, and that should be it really. Select the bits you want and don't worry about the rest. So I hope you found that useful. If you've got any requests or want anything organised, leave a comment below. If you think you'd like to see more of these, give it a like and a subscribe, and we'll take it from there. Thank you very much, and happy gold making.